Well, before I get started, let me know. I got up to a whole 11 views, man. That's from the no views and 2 views. So let me thank you because in order to become, in order to walk a mile, you got to take one step at a time. So, well, I'm up to 11, and that was the one where I talked to you about what happens with the recession. Well, let me give you some information on. Well, make sure you subscribe. Let's see if we can't get up to a whole 15 views. But let me get to it. Let me give you 3 reasons why you're going to hate your luxury car with the high gas prices. Number one, you're just going to really hate paying high gas prices. I had a 328 Beamer Coupe turbo. Well, it wasn't turbo. It was just like a 328i, whatever the high-end sport car. And you could only put premium gas in it. And that's one reason I ended up hating it, because every time I tried to put that AM PM gas in or put the independent gas in, you could tell the engine was messing up. That engine would, like, when you put cheap gas in an expensive engine, it doesn't process right, and you can just hear it like draining, and it makes all kind of weird sounds because of the way the mixture is. So when I had some times where I had to like pay extra on a credit card, or you had to pay extra on a house bill, or you had to go buy some clothes or something for an interview or a special event, I ended up having to use my credit card, because all that money that I would have, like, if ever I saved up $50 or $60, it would always be used up just for gas. This is not even for repairs, because for me, I was commuting like 70 miles from work each way, so about 150 miles. Yes, I live far. I had like a 1.5 acre house on a big piece of land with a house, and I wanted to live in the middle of nowhere. Yes, so I spent about, I think, 100. When I first bought the car, they got me, man. The gas was about $2.95 to $3. So gas is only costing me about $200 a month. And then all of a sudden the gas shot up to $4.50, $4.55, just like it is now. And that just killed me, man. Like, all my extra money was gone. And I always used to hate the car because it was like feeding like an expensive kid. You couldn't give it any type of cheap gas. It'd have to be Shell, or it'd have to be Chevron. It'd be Shell, Chevron. Oh yeah, or maybe sometimes I would try to slip into Valero and put the premium gas in. But most of the time I was at Chevron or like a Shell station. Or if I went to the AM/PM, I would use the high-end premium. But after you're in line a bunch of times trying to wait, I just went and just got the premium gas. That's one reason you're going to be hating it. And I've seen some of the cars that are out there. I know there's like a whole bunch of Audis. I see BMWs. I see like people with these Mercedes, and I just be shaking my head, man. Especially sometimes when I see them in the hood. I like going to see these expensive cars in the hood. I'm like, man, why would you drive a Mercedes and live in the ghetto? I mean, you're not cool. You make it on the freeway and look cool, but I know the truth. See, I remember I used to have my Beamer and sometimes park it at my grandmother's house, try to squeeze it in, because I put that gas in. I was afraid of somebody stealing gas, man. And I know those brothers would have stole the gas, man. So that's one reason you're going to hate your car. And I remember I had that Beamer. I used to like try to take a trip somewhere. It like always costed me at least $100 to $200 that weekend, because you can only put the expensive gas in. So that's one reason you're going to hate your car. Then number two, you will do dumb things. You will forego repairs. That's the number one thing. With the expensive car, you always have to make sure you change the oil. And biggest expense I had with my car was the oil and the tires. Because with those high performance tires, they say 35,000 miles, but they usually never last that long. I would burn through a set of tires probably every 6 months. I had to get new pair of tires for the Beamer. And what I hated the most about it is, like, with the high gas prices, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna put like premium gas in a car, I better make sure I get the best tires, because I just didn't want to have like low end tires on my car. So every time I'd go to, like, even when I went to a BMW dealer, or even when I just went to like whatever, Goodyear, or Firestone, the prices are basically the same. When it comes to a sports car, it's like there's only a few brands. But when it comes to what you want, when you want to get the high-end threads, it's only a few. Yokohamas, the BF Goodrich, even the Falcons were expensive. I just saw like a couple of Falcon trucks or Academy thing. Even they're expensive when it comes to like the high-end cars. So, and another thing you're gonna do, you're gonna hate your car is because with the high gas prices, you're gonna like do something where you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna forgo fixing this leak. Oh, I'll push my oil for a little bit longer, and you'll end up doing something like I did. You'll end up messing something up. Either you'll go too long where you'll take the car in and they'll say, oh, well, in addition to having to change your oil, your brakes are running out. And if you don't change the brakes now, you'll either change the brake pads now, or you're going to have to change the brake pads and the brake shoes later. So once you take that Beamer in, once you have that expensive car, you're going to think, okay, I'm going to try to not go out for driving around, and I'm going to just try not to go anywhere. You're going to push off the oil for a while. The problem with those cars is the BMW, it burned through the tires, but also it burnt through the brakes. And when you go in, you think you're going to get the oil change. It's like, no. They're going to say, oh, sir, you better change the brake shoes in your tires, and you may have to change at least one or two tires, because they'll tell you, sir, the tires are not running, they're not running evenly, and you're just going to mess up your gas mileage. You say, okay, I'm already paying $4.50 for gas. The last thing I need is to mess up my tires, have to come back in and buy another set of tires. We're talking about 2 tires for like $600 to $700. So that's one thing you're going to hate about your expensive car and these high gas prices. You're going to think you're saving money by pushing off repairs, but all you're doing is doubling the repairs. Because my repairs, as soon as I took it in, I thought I'd get in for 120. Back in those days, the oil change was about 80 or 90. You end up spending at least $300. And do not think about taking your car to some independent gas station. You'll blow your head off, man. That you'll even hate. Not only will you hate your car, you'll hate yourself, because they don't give you any type of rental car, and you got to work on their schedule. And those guys I went in. I thought I was getting a deal taking my car BM in to fix the oil, the transmission. After it all said and done, the car was gone for about 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes it wasn't really till the next day. They're shopping around to try to get some cheap part or secondhand parts. And it's like, ugh. So you'll hate yourself. The third reason you'll hate yourself is, I can't read this one. You'll forego repairs. Oh yeah, you'll do something dumb. Reason you're going to hate yourself when the high gas prices, because you're going to do something dumb. I mean, you're going to try to you're going to like be upset that you're going to do something where you're going to try to get up early in the morning and beat people up to get some free gas. So you're driving 5 or 6 miles to try to save a 20 or 30 cents. I mean, I did that. And you see, like, I mean, right now I see people like that. They are at the AM, PM, and the independent ones. You think you're going to get a deal. You end up waiting in line, and you got to cut in front of someone. And then you're going to get upset and cuss someone out because they get in their way. So that's one thing you're going to do. You're trying to shop around. Third thing you're going to do is you're going to start like doing stuff. Okay, I'm going to coast down the hill. And I remember I do that. I put my car in low gear when I go up, and then when I'm going downhill, a car is not supposed to use gas, so you're going to try to coast down the hill, and that's the number one thing you're going to do. And another thing you're going to do is like you're going to start like turning to all these methods that you can save like gas. Only thing that really works is the gas additives do work. If you're going to try to do something to save gas, do the gas additive. I would do the air filter, and I would just try to maintain my transmission and oil. Those are really the only 3 things, other than gas additives, transmission, and like just making sure your tires are, I don't even care if they're inflated. When you have an expensive car, you're going to hate yourself because you realize you can, like I told you before, you only can buy a certain set of tires for the car. So tires really don't matter. And then you're just gonna like just do stuff like you're gonna like shop around for gas, or even worse, you're gonna get a Costco card and go wait in the Costco line for 10 or 15 minutes minimum. I mean, I go to the one that's, I go by San Bernardino. I look at all these cars lined up to get gas. Gas, I don't know. Say if I could go to the Chevron, the gas that's $4.49, and you can get it for Costco for $3.49. When it's all said and done, do you really want to wait in that long line? That's the dumbest thing you can do. The Walmart gas and the Costco gas, if you think you're going to get a deal, you're not. You're just waiting in line. It's like, it reminds me of, like, I think of that movie Maximum Overdrive, where all the trucks were lined up to go into the gas station. Well, that's how you're going to be. I want you to picture a bunch of trucks lined up for several miles, but your car is like in the middle of that backup. That's how it is to be in a Costco line. Just sitting there waiting, using up all the gas that you do have to try to go get some cheap gas. So that's the third thing you can do. So that's 3 things I taught you why you're going to hate your luxury car in this. Hate your luxury car and high gas prices. Number 1, you're just going to basically hate paying high gas prices for the premium, because that's the only gas you can put in. Number 2, you're going to forego repairs, which is going to lead to more repairs, which means you're going to spend more money every time you take it to the dealer. And do not take it to an independent person to change your oil. You will hate yourself. And number 3, you're going to do dumb things. You're going to try to get up early. You're going to do stuff, going to be looking online for ways to save gas. And then you're going to think, hey, I'll go to Costco and get cheap gas. No, you're not going to get cheap gas. By the time you spend that time in line, 20 or 30 minutes, you've burnt oil, you're burning gas, you're burning oil, you're putting wear and tear on your engine, and you're going to get gas, and you're still going to pay gas, even if you get a cheap gas price. You're not really getting a deal, because you're doing like $50 worth of damage to your car within an hour to get a couple of gallons of gas, so you spend $24, which that's a net of $26 you're losing, rather if you just went to a regular Shell station. So that's what I think you're going to do, because I've had a 328 Beamer, and I know you're going to hate yourself with these high gas prices. So, and then we'll talk about later what to do and how to counter these high gas prices. Remember, subscribe. Let's see if we can get up to 50. I got some excellent training programs coming up. And for some of you that have gone to college and have some high student debt, I have some ways I can help you as well.